Hey everybody, Max Kevin here. It's Little Cutie Podcast. Oh, it's the 1000th episode. Can you believe it? Don't clap on the microphone there.
Okay.
Look at those
Spiked.
Oh, we got a special guest today for the 1000th episode. It's the Godfather of Tokyo comedy. It's the Joe Rogan of Tokyo. It's BJ Fox.
Hello everyone, BJ Fox.
Is that all? That's all you got? That's all? Don't
Yeah.
you got anything else to say to my listeners, to my mom?
I want to say congratulations on 1,000 episodes.
Oh, thank you. Did you ever think I would do it? I would be able to get
Honestly,
1,000?
I'm impressed. Like I have my own podcast as well. We're just coming up to our 250th episode, and the number of comedians who have started a podcast and it fades into nothingness. The idea of it to 1,000 without any listeners is amazing to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of faded. It's been fading. I mean, it was never glowing to begin with. You know, so it's hard to fade away. You know, and I mean, my mom listens. You know, sometimes. How many downloads you get on your?
We get about 15,000 a week.
15,000?
Yeah.
All right. Well, just divide that by 1,000. That's about what I get. You know.
Okay.
That's about. But you know, it's not a comedy podcast. You know,
I would say my podcast is called Urawaza Eigo. It's bilingual Japanese and English, business English.
Yeah.
But it's comedic. It's all about how to use English effectively in a foreign company, so you don't have to do any work.
But it's mainly listened to by Japanese people, right?
Almost exclusively, yeah.
Yeah. So.
And Chinese. About 10% of listenership is Chinese.
All right. Well, no Japanese people listen. You know, only red-blooded Americans. You know, English native speakers listen to my podcast. There, you know.
But congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, 1,000 episodes. Yeah, it's pretty easy when you start off making one every day. That's very short.
Oh, is that what you did?
Yeah, at the very beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 3 minutes a day.
Okay, but you said to me this is going to be 30 to 60 minutes.
Yeah, I mean I stopped doing that a long time ago. You know, but it helped up the numbers. You know, that's why I'm at 1,000 now. I guess it's been almost 7 years now.
7 years.
Yeah, almost 7 years. Yeah. I remember I started comedy 8 years ago.
You did?
Yeah, at the Double Tall Cafe. You know, you were there actually.
On your first gig.
The second gig.
Okay, so it's 2024. So you started in 2016.
Yep.
So that was 1 year after I moved to Japan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that night. I did this set about Japanese porn. You know, brought down the house. John was laughing, and then afterwards, you know, you got me over like, hey, I'm doing a show at the Good Heavens bar. You want to come do it? You know.
Oh really?
Yeah, and then you know, we were handing out
flyers. But then, interestingly, you boycotted that show.
No. I was going to Good Heavens for like a year until the bartender there told me I couldn't perform if I didn't buy a drink.
Yeah.
And then
I always respected you for doing that, actually.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too bad your respect didn't translate into success. That was kind of a bummer. That's too bad.
But you kind of boycotted it in a very kind of polite way. You just say, "That's not for me." Essentially.
Yeah.
I don't agree with the way he runs his bar. I don't perform there. There was no drama.
Yeah.
No issue between us.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was handing out flyers to people, trying to get people to come to his bar, you know, and, you know, I guess he didn't want me to do that anymore. Yeah. He didn't want me to work for him for free anymore. So, all right.
Yeah. Anyway, let's not talk. Before the podcast, I asked, sorry, what's your name on the podcast?
Max Kevin.
Max Kevin.
Same name you know me by. Yeah.
I asked Max.
No, it's Kevin. You know, Max is like maximum. You know.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, it makes.
That's what I wasn't sure.
Okay, it makes more sense. It's my Japanese stage name. You know?
Okay.
You have MAX capital letters, and then Kevin in katakana.
Okay.
You know, it makes a lot more sense.
Okay.
You know? Max Kevin. Yeah.
Okay. So. Yeah. What was I going to say?
We're talking about what you don't want to talk
about.
Oh,
I don't talk about. Yeah. So I said what we're going to talk about. You said no, let's leave the podcast. But yeah, there's certain parts of the I don't know, the dramatic aspects.
Let's talk shit on everyone who's ever wronged us.
Don't do that. But anyway, we used to perform at a bar called Good Heavens.
Yeah. We don't perform there anymore. We got our own bar. I mean he. Yeah. So
we is a community space.
Yeah, BJ is the founder of Tokyo Comedy
Bar.
Bar.
I would say there are 4 founders.
Yeah, 4 founders.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm held up as the leader.
Let's say,
but not. It's actually 4 equal founders.
I think if you went back to the UK, if you left Japan and went back to the UK, I'm not exactly sure this place would survive. So
no. I was the driving force. Yeah. I'm definitely the driving force.
You know, they had the Knights of the Round Table, but I'm pretty sure King Arthur was kind of, you know, without him, it's like Lancelot. I don't know what are you gonna do, you know? So
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even before this bar, you were kind of the driving force of the whole Tokyo comedy scene, I would say. I mean, there was a couple other people that tried to put together shows, but I think you were the only one that was any good at it, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
That had like regular shows back in the day. And
yeah.
What do you attribute that to? Why do you? Because I have this disease called fat lazy fuck syndrome. I don't know if you heard about it.
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah. I work hard.
Yeah,
I definitely am driven.
Where's that come from, huh?
I don't know. I've always liked work though.
Yeah.
Even when I was working in the supermarket, I always kind of got into it. And also, I've got whatever.
I like sitting around and doing nothing.
I feel like time attacking me.
Well, I also feel like shit, but it doesn't motivate me to actually get up and do something. So I just basically sit around feeling like shit all day.
Yeah, well, I don't know why. I think I was lucky. So I came to Tokyo. Most people who do comedy in Tokyo, I would say, start in Tokyo.
Yeah.
So it means they start from a brand new level.
Mm.
I only actually had 1 year of comedy before I came here, but I'd done it for 1 year, regular gigs in a different environment. So when I moved to Tokyo, I don't want to exaggerate, but was it like one show a week? Maybe one. If you applied for every show, you might be on stage twice a month. Because there wasn't not that many opportunities. Whereas I was doing it twice a week in Singapore for a year. I would say I'm a good host. That helps. So when you're running your own show and you can host it, that helps. Makes it work. What else? What I think is interesting is by the way, not many people don't like me.
Oh yeah,
I'm quite like
your parents or
no within the comedy scene.
Oh, I see.
I'm quite diverse. What's the phrase I'm thinking of?
Divisive.
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 Divisive. I would say.
What's the British pronunciation?
Divisive.
I say divisive.
You say divisive?
I don't know.
Okay. But I think it helps. It's very clear what I want.
Yeah.
I've got not standards, but rules. Yeah. And if you don't do them,
why do people hate you? I don't understand. Why?
I think because they don't like the way I run things.
Yeah, I think they hate you because they ain't you. I think that's.
They hate me because.
Yeah, you haven't heard this. They hate me because they ain't me.
No,
ain't is American.
We say ain't. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't pick it up. Maybe I don't know. No, I think it's more like this. Is how I want it. If you don't do the thing the way I want it to be done, then people fall out. So that's why again, I've spoken to you about your material before as well. It was kind of take it in the right way.
Yeah, well, I think at the time I sort of needed that, and well, now don't ever give me any advice. All right, okay. So I mean, that was back. That was 8 years ago. Yeah. I was still green, but now I'll say whatever I want, man. All right, this is my art, dude. This is
your podcast.
Yeah, it's my true expression of who I my feelings, my emotions. It's how I let God know that I exist. So where do jokes come from?
Where do jokes come from? My jokes come from I just say things in conversation and repeat them on stage. Yeah. I rarely sit down and write.
Yeah, but I mean, where does that inspiration, or where does that, So the great Norm Macdonald, he said jokes come from the ether,
Oh, I agree. Yeah. I don't think you create jokes; you find them.
Yeah,
they already pre-exist.
Yeah.
That's not an original thought, I don't think. I think I've heard someone say that. But I do agree, there are patterns out there and you're just putting, A and B together to make three. You kind of putting, making a mathematical formula. That's how I think of it, yeah. Yeah,
I mean, we were talking earlier. So BJ also, he has a course, a comedy course, where he tries to teach unfunny people how to be funny, and, or, just general speaking skills. And, I kind of disagree that you can teach people how to be funny, because I think jokes come from the ether, and either your brain is tuned into that.
No, I think that's true comedy, but I think there's certain tricks you can use and you can kind of get there. And I see. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It doesn't matter. Nobody listens to this.
What was I going to say? No, I think you can. There are certain things you can do, and then also some people are very good at the end part, which is the punchline, but don't know how to get there. Yeah. When you see a great premise and you're like, oh, if I had that. I could do this with it. Yeah. But, that other funny person thought of it. They just don't know how to deliver it. And, from our point of view, in Tokyo, where we've got let's say a comedian pipeline issue, we don't have enough funny people. Yeah. And we're trying to make more. So instead of letting them discover over 2 years, this is how you hold a mic, or this is a basic way of introducing yourself on stage. Yeah. We just try to accelerate that through the course.
Yeah.
That's the goal, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think if people have the skill, you can definitely hone that skill and develop it. But there's just some people who don't know how to write a punchline at all. I don't know.
Yeah. There were definitely people that I've seen. I'm like, I have no idea. What?
Yeah, I don't know. Some people can't hit a baseball either. Or any other skill.
I'm thinking of
or sing or play music or
yeah.
Write poetry.
I reckon you can pretty much teach anyone to be funny.
Yeah.
Or do some basic things that can, at least gain a reaction out of an audience.
Yeah, I wonder where it comes from too, because like in my family, when I think about my family, I'm the only funny person in my family, really.
Your mum is listening.
Yeah, but I mean, she's unintentionally funny.
Okay.
I mean, we laugh at her a lot. Sorry, Mom, love you. But I'm the only one that really like makes jokes, and I wonder, is it like that in your family too, or is
No,
a lot of comedians say like their parents were funny too, and stuff.
I would say my mum. Full disclosure, I haven't spoken to my dad in about 25 years, but
yeah, me either.
So I don't know how funny he was. I think he was a bit of a wacky character.
Yeah.
I would say my mum's funny. My mum's funny. She's Irish and makes jokes.
But were you funny like in grade school?
No, no, definitely not.
Yeah.
And I wasn't funny.
Yeah.
I remember when I came out as a comedian in Singapore. I was living in Singapore and I used to play for a football team and a soccer team. Sorry, football team. Why am I apologising? And I would say everyone in that team probably thought they were funnier than I am. Yeah. I'm like typically in a night out, I'm the quiet guy. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I don't like talking to people really.
Yeah, it annoys my wife a little bit.
Yeah. That you're trying to be funny?
No, that there's all this kind of fun aspect of me going out having fun on a comedy stage, and then I go out with her and her friends, and I just sit there in silence and pretend not to speak Japanese.
Perform, monkey. Come on, do your dance.
Do something. I think the worst time was one time one of her friends asked me, literally a Japanese person asked me straight up, so where do I teach English? And I just gave them an answer. I said Shibuya.
Yeah.
That was the end of the conversation. This was like right after I had a TV show. It was right after the TBS show come out, and I was like, I bet you want to talk about it.
Yeah, BJ, he got a TV show. It was, he was, so not only did he organize some English shows, he organized a Japanese comedy show, right? And then some NHK people came and
no, that was Good Heavens. That was Good Heavens.
Oh, Good Heavens.
Yeah, English. Yeah, English show.
Oh, they saw you in English.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was they saw you in Japanese.
No, it came to the English show. When was that? It was 2016. Yeah.
I see. Yeah, see, maybe I should have stuck around Good Heavens. Maybe they would have seen me, and that could have been me. But instead I moved back to America.
We recently had Aiko Tanaka, a comedian, over here, and I was trying to find her email address so I could send her a clip. Okay, so I searched Tanaka on my Gmail, and I actually found
that's an uncommon name.
Well, it turns out it wasn't, because I actually found the very first mail that I exchanged with the producer. Of Home Sweet Tokyo, the TV show, and it was quite interesting, to see how it because basically it started off with me just doing a PowerPoint, and one of the funniest lines in it was like, I like the change to a British lead character, but where will we find the actor? I was like, you fell into my trap.
I wonder.
How could you find a total British actor?
Yeah. Have you seen this TV show Tokyo Vice? Have you seen this?
I know, but I want to watch it.
No, it's terrible.
Is it terrible?
I mean, I didn't really like it, but it's not terrible.
Okay. Because Jake Adelstein, who wrote it, he's performed at Comedy Bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Judge Rose Battle.
So you've seen that guy, right?
Yeah.
What does he look like? Describe his appearance. Would you say he's tall or short?
Medium height.
Yeah, would you say he has blonde hair or black hair?
He's got short cropped black hair.
Would you say he's conventionally attractive, or
I think he probably does well with his personality.
All right, now look at the actor that they got playing this guy. He's like 6'5", Adonis blonde dude, and the guy can't even speak Japanese. He's reading his Japanese lines.
I saw a trailer and I thought the Japanese. I've just seen the trailer. The reason I haven't watched it is because my wife and I say we'll watch it together. We never do, but. I thought the Japanese sounded okay.
No, I mean, for an actor who has never spoken Japanese, he's saying his lines quite well.
Yeah.
But that company could have easily hired someone that lives here in Japan that could speak Japanese fluently. Like, okay, have you seen the Shogun TV series? Okay, so there's another white actor who plays a monk.
He's good. He doesn't.
He's
not based here, though, is he?
I don't know, but his Japanese is very good.
Yeah.
He can actually speak Japanese. And so the whole time I'm watching Tokyo Vice, I'm just pissed off. Like, why didn't they hire someone that can actually speak Japanese? Because this character he's supposed to be insanely good at Japanese. You know, he passed this insanely difficult Japanese test, and this actor can't even. It's like saying "Konnichiwa."
What did you think? Okay, have you finished Shogun?
Stuff like that pisses me off.
Have you finished Shogun?
Yeah, I finished Shogun.
What do you think at the end?
I thought it was great. Yeah, it was great.
Oh, I thought the ending was rubbish.
Oh, you didn't like it?
I thought they looked like they ran out of budget or something. They all got rushed.
Well, I mean, do you know the real life? You know the real life story of?
I've read the book. Yeah, one of my favorite books. I can't remember exactly how that ended, and I know I've written a TV show. Yeah. My own TV show about that guy.
Yeah. About Tokugawa?
No, about what's his name? William
Wallace?
No, not William Wallace. I can't remember his name. William. Who's the actual the original Anjin?
Yeah, Anjin. I don't know. I can't remember his character's name. It was Anjin, I guess. But
what was it? No, in that it's called Blackmore.
Blackthorn. Blackthorn, I think, was his character name. But I think they changed it from the book.
No, I don't think they did.
Did they?
Anjin. What's his actual name?
The
William Adams. William Adams is the original.
Is the real guy.
Yeah. No, obviously that was then. What's it? The book Shogun is a fictionalized version of his experiences, and then the book has changed stuff from that. The TV show changed stuff from the book. It looks quite Japanese in that picture.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? I've written my own story about this.
I see.
That was my follow up to Home Sweet Tokyo was going to be about this guy running an English pub in Edo, Japan.
Is it another family friendly adventure?
Starring me and Vinay, yeah, basically. Well, no, because there was talks. We did 4 seasons of Home Sweet Tokyo, and there was a brief moment of talk that we were going to do 1 episode set in the Edo period. Yeah. So instead of being kind of Tokyo.
That would have been funny.
And I don't know. I also like the idea of doing a historical thing. I think it's hard doing cross-cultural stuff in the modern day. Yeah. Because immediately, whatever you do, you have to exaggerate stuff to make it funny. That's the nature of comedy. The moment you exaggerate anything cultural based at the moment, people start saying it's hacky, that's racist. Yeah. So I thought actually what we could do is to stick it either in space or go back in time. And
Samurais in space. I think that could sell. That'll sell.
But yeah, no, I didn't like the ending of it actually.
Oh no, I thought that final dialogue between the Shogun guy. I thought that was great, man. You didn't like it?
What was that one?
The final. He's about to cut off his head there.
Oh, that scene was good. That scene was. Well, I just felt it was all right. And honestly, I assumed. I don't know any spoilers. I assumed she was going to come back to life. I didn't think because we never saw her funeral. Yeah. I spent the whole time watching, thinking when's she coming back.
Well, we did see her get blown up, so.
but she was behind the door. Maybe it was a hard door.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gotta be a pretty hard door to get.
I thought maybe
get blown up there. Yeah.
I didn't remember whether or not she died in the book or not. I assumed it was a love story.
See, what I didn't really understand about this, why would she run in front of the door? That is really, they're about to blow up the door, and
she wanted to kill herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. She wanted to end her internal suffering.
Yeah, but she didn't want to hook up with Blackthorn anymore. No.
But did you think? I thought it was interesting how the actress is. I don't know her name. Sorry, but she's from New Zealand, I think.
Yeah.
But she's Japanese, Kiwi. I don't know the exact background. But I thought you could tell she wasn't Japanese, 100% Japanese.
Yeah,
she looked like
she looks a little mixed, but
I don't think mixed, but more the way she holds herself. Yeah. She looked a little almost too glamorous to be in the show.
Yeah. Well, I don't know enough about the fashion or what they did back then.
Good. Sorry to keep talking, but they've got a good podcast as well.
What, Shogun?
Yeah, actually, I started listening to it. It's quite interesting to see how they made the show and what kind of changes they had to make and to be more historically accurate. I don't think James Clavell, when he wrote it, cared too much about being spot on in terms of period and stuff and names.
Yeah. Do you know about the real historical Tokugawa and Ieyasu Toyotomi?
Not that. No, not really.
Yeah, no. I do.
Okay, tell me.
Well, no, that really took place. There was a civil war. The battle of Sekigahara at the end there. That was the.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Tokugawa won that war, and then he closed off Japan for 300 years.
Yeah, okay.
So not his character. He wins the war and then closes off Japan to foreigners, And then the little boy, the actual heir, him and his mom rebel against him.
Oh, really?
15 years later.
Oh.
And they burn down Osaka Castle. So that's why if you go to Osaka Castle now, it's just a replica, Because they burned it down.
Oh, I assume that's because of...
So in real life...
in the war.
Yeah, in real life, he really was trying to... in the show, they kind of make it seem like he doesn't actually want power.
Yeah.
But of course, in real life, he really did want power. And then,
well, I thought that was the ending, wasn't it? Where it was like, in the end, he was a puppet master. But I think that in the show, they tried to make that like a reveal. And I was like, oh, that wasn't... I assume that was going on.
But I knew the real life, too. Okay. And the whole time I'm thinking, well, this guy really did want power. So they're kind of portraying him as nice, but... Yeah, and then 15 years later, he ends up killing the heir, the real heir, and her mother. They both kill themselves. Anyway, and then they shut off Japan for 300 years. And then Tom Cruise came to save the day. Yeah, with his cannons. Opened it back up. And now here we are.
Here we are.
Nothing happened in the 20th century. Don't worry about that. It's all water under the bridge. So what made you want to be a comedian in the first place,
My actual origin story is simply I went to an open mic in Singapore.
Yeah.
And
but did your friends tell you should do that, or you're just like...
No, but I always wanted to write like science fiction comics. That was my dream. I was really big into Marvel comics before it was cool.
Yeah.
And always wanted to be a writer. I also used to want to write adventures for the Dungeons and Dragons. So I used to submit a lot. So I was always doing like stuff.
Yeah.
And then I had some success. Not really, kind of low level printed. Like I had some stories printed, and I would just write the story, and my friend would draw them. And it was actually in Singapore. I was working in Singapore, and one of my stories came out. So you get sent a couple of copies of the story. And I realised I hadn't actually done anything in a year because I was too busy working and getting drunk, having a girlfriend. And weirdly, that happened. And then next day I went to see my then girlfriend's friend in an open mic. And it was supporting him doing it. And he was actually all right. But the overall show was terrible. And I just thought I could do it. I thought I was funny. As you watch it, I'm thinking, okay, that's what I would have said. That's what I would have said.
Yeah, a lot of famous comedians kind of have that same story. Is that you see people that are incredibly good at it who inspire you, and then you see people who are incredibly shit at it, and you realize, I could be better than them.
Yeah.
So,
well, actually, I find like when a really good person comes here, it doesn't inspire me at all. It just makes me want to quit. I realize how far you are.
Yeah. I got that same feeling when I went to San Diego.
Oh, really?
Because, you were saying we have a talent gap here. And. I think we have some great comedians here, but in San Diego, there's 50 people on the same level as the best people here.
Yeah.
And none of them are professional or successful at all. So I remember when I was there just watching these people, just thinking, oh shit, this is never going to work.
I had the same when I had a business trip over to San Francisco and did a couple of open mics, and I got kind of pulled into a better open mic, let's say.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh God, these guys are about 100 times better than me. And I was like, oh, what are you doing? Nothing. They're all in San Francisco, let's say in a holding pattern, hoping to go to LA. And I was like, God, if you're like nobody,
if there's
and you're that good,
No, there's like, I remember I saw this one dude, Mitch Burrow, who just had a perfect 15 minutes, like so funny, punchlines like every 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And he's not famous at all.
Oh, can I Google him now?
Yeah.
What is it, Mitch Burrow?
Mitch Burrow.
Mitch Burrow.
It's like a southern, I think it's Burrow. Yeah. Mitch Burrow.
Mitch the Legend Burrow?
Let me see if that's him in the pictures there.
Okay, let's have a look. I'm on his Instagram now. 9,000 is not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, when I saw him perform, it was like one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So I was thinking this guy should be a household name, just based on his skill.
Yeah.
And there's 100 people just like him, that no one's ever heard of.
Actually, a couple of the guys who I saw in that San Francisco trip, I've now seen pop up elsewhere now. Yeah. Like they are doing well. There was a guy called Danny who was so good. Got a joke about dogs. and the Super Bowl or something, and another, I can't remember their names, but yeah, it kind of, when I did that, I was like, wow. People often ask, would you ever go home to do comedy? I'm like, probably not. Like, and it's happened a few times where people have left us, and they've gone from being, let's say, a 20-minute headliner in Tokyo, realizing because of maybe their skill level, but also networks, connections, they have to go back at the beginning, and it's hard to go back to the beginning.
Yeah,
hard to do 3 minutes late at night, and
it's hard to make your way into a scene that's already saturated with incredibly funny people.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily want another one.
Yeah.
So
that's another thing too. I noticed back in America, it's like a lot of people, if you were really funny, they sort of see you as competition.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that. Just like people would have their groups and sort of push everybody out of the other groups. At certain clubs would have their group of friends, and like you couldn't perform at that club unless you were friends with these guys. And then another club would have a different circle of friends and stuff. So. Yeah.
So anyway, that was my start, and then actually, I think it also coincided me in Singapore. I then broke up with that girl, and so I had a lot of free time, and I maybe was a bit lost in life, and started really getting into it. And Singapore was a great place to do comedy because maybe a bit like here now, where let's say we've got not enough comedians, got a decent audience, a lot of stage time. There's a lot of stage time in Singapore. Way better audiences than here because they had a couple of shows that would have 200 people, a weekly 200-person show, or maybe let's say 150. And
they speak English in Singapore.
All speak English. Yeah. You've got the locals. You've got lots of expats. You've got tourists coming in. The country of Singapore is about the size of Shibuya. Everyone's going out on the same street, so it's like easy to get people in. And when I started, there was like a group of people who were the top comedians. And they were kind of getting onto TV, and they were doing MC gigs. So they actually needed more people. So pretty much straight away, they were like, oh, could you MC a night? And once you start MCing, then you start, quickly building up kind of artificial stage time that would have taken you like a month to accumulate elsewhere. Yeah. And just start going well.
I see. And now look at you now.
Look at me now.
Look at you now. You got your own club. You got a podcast. You got some kids, Yeah.
You got a full-time job as well, by the way.
Got a full-time job. Yeah.
So that's to me the one thing. Like, I still haven't been able to turn comedy into my own, my main thing.
Yeah. The only gig.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess you got to make a certain amount of money to pay for your family. So if you just lower your standard of living,
Yeah. I don't believe we're that extravagant. But once you have, we have to travel home once a year. That adds a cost. Although I would say, I recently went back to full-time work in October last year, and it's been a good thing. I think both in terms of getting me out of the house or getting me out of the club.
Yeah.
I feel like once you're... Basically what I'm trying to say is I'm not good at running a comedy club.
Yeah.
I'm good at being one of the owners of a comedy club, but actually the day-to-day of it was a little bit too much admin, and I'm not particularly good at that.
Yeah, I guess management, it's a different skill.
Yeah.
Than telling shit jokes,
Yeah, so now I feel a little bit less pressured all the time. And also weirdly coincided with the bar taking off a little bit better. Like last year was a struggle. Year 1 and year 2 we lost money. But now on a monthly basis
we're only like 1 month into year 3, so
that's true. No, but towards the tail end of year 2 we started actually, audience picked up.
Yeah. And, I mean, that's how it goes, basically. It's the first 2 years are kind of the trial,
Yeah.
If you can't make it. Or if you can make it after 2 years, it should be.
Well, hopefully, yeah. We picked up a little bit of momentum, and just means like I'm on a bit of a high today. Like last night, this is a Wednesday, we had a show on Tuesday. And just 25 people on a Tuesday. So for listeners at home, we're about a 60-seater. But 25 people a year ago would have been a Good Friday.
Yeah.
And now it's shifted to a Tuesday. Now, that's not every Tuesday, but... it was a great vibe last night, so I'm quite happy.
Yeah, and I mean that's a decent show for a Tuesday. So how many of them were native English speakers though? That's the
interesting. No British people, some Americans, Chinese, Japanese, front row were Brazilian, Australian, so English speakers, Swiss. It's very international. Like we've had one show of about 20 people where there was not a single native English speaker in the room.
Yeah.
But all European-ish.
Yeah.
So it still works.
But the other night we had this German guy in here. He was what I call extremely German.
Oh, really?
You know, he just Germans don't really like showing emotion or laughing,
Yeah.
you know, because they're constantly thinking about their past, you know. So I guess, and that was anyway.
How German are you?
I don't know, a little bit. I got a German name, but
A German name, but
Yeah.
you speak German.
yeah, but I mean not because I studied at university,
Okay.
right? Not from my childhood or anything.
Okay.
But yeah, mixed with all the German, English, Irish, Polish.
Okay.
Yeah, all the mix there. Yeah, a little bit of Native American in there. Yeah,
I can see it.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You see that my high cheekbones or
Yeah.
what? Yeah, BJ. You were born in New Jersey.
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically American.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. You gave it up, not for taxes.
Not for tax reasons.
Not
yeah.
for. You promise?
Yeah. So I'm on the Bible. Yeah, I gave it up a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't keep it up. Actually, I didn't actually have a what do you call it? A valid passport. But I had to actually go and get a passport to give it up.
Yeah.
I didn't realise all the ins and outs of being American.
Don't you want to vote in the upcoming election? Are you a Trump or Biden guy? What do you?
I don't believe in the two-party system.
Yeah. You know what's great about living in a foreign country is you don't give a shit about politics anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
It's true.
Just don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care about America, and I don't care what happens here because I can't understand.
It's funny actually. The number of times I don't know. There's a funny thing about comedy in that there's a weird pressure, or at least a school of thought that you should be doing kind of social change material, and especially in Japan, Japanese comedy. There's no sex and there's no politics.
Yeah.
Two things. So every now and again, a Japanese person will say, "Oh, like why don't you do politics in your jokes?" Like who for? Like for the German, Swiss, Brazilian, Australian people in the audience. I'm going to talk about what Japanese politics, American politics. American politics is the only one that anyone would know, but because of Trump and Biden.
Yeah, that's why I love Ruben's song. I Love My Country.
Yeah.
It's a great song. He should make a new version. I Love My Politician. Yeah. Your politician sucks. Yeah? Our politician's great. Yeah. Like I hate political comedy because basically the punchline for everything is just like. Our politician's so much better. Isn't the people that like that politician, aren't they dumb? Yeah. It's like, all right.
I quite like, we got a show, we used to have a show, I think it's gone now, in the UK called Mock the Week, and they just do general news stories.
Yeah.
And it's not so much about making fun of the politician, it's just like introducing the story and making jokes about it. That works because you've got the story as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of American comedians that come here to perform. They make that mistake. They'll talk about American culture or like do a Trump impression, and it's like that's not gonna work. No one.
Actually, if I have to one kind of stereotype of American comedy is everyone talks about drugs.
Yeah,
it's like painful. It's so painful. Like I find like hearing a story about when you were high is the same as.
Yeah, especially recently.
Oh, it's just so like.
Because I couldn't believe when I went back, like everybody was doing mushrooms.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like when I left, it's still illegal, but like no one was doing them. And then I come back and it's like everybody's got them, they're doing them, they're on them all the time. I don't know where it's coming from, but yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy shift.
Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, there's a slight movement in Japan to legalize marijuana, but I'm against it because it will just kill comedy.
Yeah,
just a bunch of dudes telling funny stories.
Yeah, I don't know if Japanese people are ready to be high.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna be like. But I support legalization. I support freedom, but I couldn't especially in California. I couldn't believe just like how many people are just stoned all the time.
Well, actually, I went to this was a previous job. I had maybe I wasn't on a holiday in San Francisco. Maybe I was on a business. Oh, that was a business trip. I would hang out with my colleagues. I actually asked them what they did on the weekend.
Yeah.
So I think I was there for over the weekend, and one of their reply was literally like, "Oh, I microdosed on this. Like, just this is the drugs they took." And I was like, "Oh, that's your hobby now. That's like literally what you do."
Yeah.
I was asking like, did you go, I don't know, hiking or shopping? I don't know what I was asking, making conversation, but she was like, yeah, I just did a bit of this and a bit of this.
I mean, alcohol's legal, but you wouldn't drink every day, would you? Oh wait. Oh, so BJ likes alcohol.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so I guess you can't understand exactly. You know, they just have their, they pick their poison, right?
Yeah, no, but I think it's more like if I met a British person, I was like, oh, good weekend, what'd you do? And he went, oh, well, 6 pints of this, 7 pints of this, and I'm like, oh, okay, nothing else. It's like,
yeah, people use it as their whole identity.
Yeah, yeah. So
what a bunch of silly gooses. Yeah. So you got some kids. What are your hopes for your kids' future?
What do I hope? Honestly, and this is not me being facetious, or I hope they're happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, I meet so many unhappy people, so many damaged people. Yeah. And I'm like, I just don't.
Well, we're in the comedy business, so it kind of attracts a certain type of person, I think.
Yeah, no, but I've met them in real life as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just hope that they're happy and they find a hobby. I've got a couple of friends with older kids, and actually their main complaint is they don't have any hobbies.
Yeah.
All their so I guess I'm lucky. Like, I've essentially, through different iterations, turned every one of my hobbies into a job.
Yeah.
Whether it be I used to work in video games, but I still work in the video games industry. But work for my favorite video game company. One of my best friends here, kind of like a mentor, business mentor for me. He was into Dungeons and Dragons. He joined Dungeons and Dragons, and then became the first. And then, like, now, these people, some of my friends, they're complaining, my kids love video games. They don't play video games. They watch other people play video games.
Yeah.
And that's like Twitch. A different, whole different vibe.
Yeah. I do like to watch people play StarCraft too.
Oh, really?
Twitch. Yeah. It's my favorite esport there. It's the only good one. Everything else is boring, But this one, it's insane. Because do you know APM, actions per minute?
No.
That's like how fast they're pressing the buttons.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Like 10 years ago, to be a top level player, you needed 300 APM. Right?
Okay.
They're pressing the buttons six times per second, but now it's like 500, 600.
Wow.
And so these kids are on they're pressing buttons like this fast, and like this game StarCraft, you have to multitask.
I've played.
Yeah, you play StarCraft. Yeah. So you have to get minerals and build your city and fight everybody, and
you'd be super quick to get.
And so they're not athletes in the sense that like they can run, they can sprint, but like the decisions they're making in their mind are insanely fast. Like they're going to be the people in the future that are piloting the drones that are fighting China. So.
Well, I did see an interesting documentary. I don't know what it was, but like one of the people who was the world champion at Gran Turismo, which is a video game, like F1 racing game or car racing game, then became an F1 driver.
Yeah.
Or like at least like a fairly decent level.
Yeah, I saw this thing about reaction times. Like the professional drivers have the fastest reaction times, and they were comparing them to professional sports players, and their reaction time was even faster than professional athletes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I guess that's the skill that you need to do that, And perhaps maybe the esports players, they also have that too. I also noticed growing up, like all my friends that were really good at video games, they were also very smart. Like they all.
I think actually, and I don't obviously I work for Grand Theft Auto. I'm not saying you learn stuff, crime, but like game mechanics, how to win, how to game the system. I think actually there's a skill set, and maybe even better in like board games. When you play a proper board game, not Monopoly or like Game of Life, but an actual one with like winning conditions that you have to kind of calculate. I think it's good skills to learn. It's just funny. Yeah, a lot of my friends as well, the ones who are into stuff, then turned it into something, like into a job or into a passion. Yeah. Yeah,
you follow my stream. You can watch me play. You can watch me play video games.
You stream?
Not really.
We've actually got a streamer coming. We've got a guy called Jeff Leach comes to the club, and he was the voice of Ghost in Call of Duty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's performing a couple of.
Sounds like a huge nerd.
No, he's like a proper top level comedian in LA. He's British, but he moved to LA now. He's done he's basically a voice actor.
I see.
Became a streamer over. I didn't know this about him, but when I made a poster, I took a picture, made a poster, and he actually said, "Could you add some of my credits, please?" And I was like, "Oh wow, they're really impressive credits."
Yeah, I can't believe how popular some of these streamers are. I was seeing this guy the other day. He's got like 100,000 people watching him. This is more popular than I would say, like even like Joe Rogan or something.
Yeah.
Like these guys to have 100,000 live viewers. this guy, and I've never heard. No one's ever heard of him, but like they're super famous among the under 25 kids.
Question: You're a Joe Rogan fan, yeah? Am I right?
Yeah, sure.
Oh no, so you're not. Do you listen to him?
Yeah, when he has good guests on.
Okay.
I don't know. Some of his guests.
Does he ever talk about running the club? Does he run the club? What's the deal with that mothership?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he designed it, and he doesn't really talk about the management of it that much, like the ups and downs. But
okay. I wonder if he'd come on my podcast to talk about it.
Would he come on yours? I don't know if you know this. He's super famous, and he's Oprah for white people,
okay.
So I don't think
I listen very rarely, only when he's got like a. Did he have Jimmy Carr on? That's the last one I listened to.
Maybe. Yeah, I think he did.
If you got like a British comedian, I'll listen.
Yeah, Jimmy Carr's been doing the rounds recently.
Yeah. So actually, I'm a big fan of Jimmy Carr. I've read his autobiography, and I saw him live here when he was over. I thought it was brilliant. I found a couple of his interviews recently a little bit too. It's just too samey, just the same sort of thing.
Yeah, well, I guess people ask you the same questions and stuff, and you got the same answer.
Yeah.
And I mean, we only have so many thoughts in our head that we can express. For 1,000 episodes of this, I probably say the same thing over and over there. But no, Joe Rogan, he doesn't really talk about managing the club a lot. He talks a lot about COVID. He's still pissed off about COVID.
Is he still?
Yeah. And he's still pissed off about transgender athletes.
Oh, really?
And he likes talking about ayahuasca a lot,
Okay.
So, and he likes talking about elk meat.
Yeah.
So he always mentions those four things. Depending on no matter who the guest is, he'll mention those four. Yeah. But he's had some good guests on recently. Yeah, he had this. Do you know Graham Hancock?
No.
He's like an archaeologist guy that is trying to argue that there was a human civilization 12,000 years ago that got wiped out by a comet or something.
Okay.
And so he's for like the past 10 years, like he got a Netflix show like about an ancient civilization and stuff, and then they had a real archaeologist come on and just like debunk him. And that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I like podcasts. I like comedy podcasts. I don't really listen to English learning. Podcasts.
I almost exclusively listen to football podcasts.
Yeah,
I love interviews, long form interviews with old players.
Do they sit down and interview the players?
Yeah, just like what went on, what went behind the scenes, and it's generally all friendly. Just like when I say old players, I'm talking about players my age, like who've now retired. Yeah, but like reliving those moments.
Are there professional players that are our age? I feel like they must retire by.
Oh no! So like people who were professional
who retired already.
Yeah. If how old are you? I'm 42.
Yeah, I'm 41.
42. Yeah, basically like Zlatan retired when he was 39.
Zlatan?
Yeah.
All I know is Messi.
Okay.
Messi and who's the other guy? Ronaldo. Yeah, those are the only two.
Okay. Well, Zlatan's probably in that trio of talent.
And Beckham, David Beckham.
David Beckham.
Yeah, Pele.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got. There was that one Japanese female soccer player. She was pretty famous over here for a little bit. She's not on TV anymore. No. The Olympics are over, So you call it football, huh?
I call it football, yeah.
It's called soccer, don't you? Don't you know that? Don't you? British people, huh? You guys like cricket, huh? That's not a real sport.
I don't watch that, so I can't comment on that too much.
You guys like polo, huh? You
love
riding
polo,
horses?
Yeah.
Fucking rich people, dude. Rich 1%ers, man.
Never played.
Get off your horse.
Never ridden a horse.
Yeah. Well, you're not a rich 1%er. That's why. You're a poor boy from the. I don't know any areas. I don't know.
Slough.
From Slough.
Yeah. Same as James Gibbings, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but James has a posh voice though. You don't have that.
I think that's probably more cultivated with where he works. I don't think I can't imagine he comes from a particularly posh background.
Yeah.
I have no idea, by the way.
I mean, I don't know too much about British accents, but I feel like he speaks the Queen's English and you speak Prince Andrew English.
No. My wife actually speaks more of the Queen's English.
Yeah.
She grew up in London. Who's got the poshest British accent in the group? We actually haven't got many British comedians, have we?
There's you. There's James.
Is that it? We used to have loads. We
used
used to have like Aziz, maybe slightly posher.
Yeah.
But he's not posh, but I would say he's slightly.
Yeah, we're gonna have more Americans recently. I guess America's taken over.
Yeah, it used to all be British, like Alex. And,
back in the day. Yeah. You ran them all away,
Just, only room for one.
And then, you're hated. You're hated.
No, I'm okay with all those guys. I'm okay with those guys. Yeah. Where do you see your next steps as a comedian? Why do you do it? So you're not like... You're not part of the core team, really, are you?
What does that mean?
I don't know. Like you're not coming. I don't know. Actually, I'm trying. What do I mean? Okay, we'll break down. You're not
on the Avengers.
You're not quite headlining the shows.
I'm not on the X-Men.
But you're on the main shows, but you're not headlining the shows.
I'm a feature.
Yeah.
I'm a middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't control that. I mean,
yeah. But you kind of dip in. I don't know. I was going to say there's not many community events, but there are the community events I go to all related to the fact we've got kids. So you would come to them.
We have comedian events.
Like I hang out with comedians outside of the comedy club sometimes.
Oh, I see.
But typically it's with JJ's kids or Ruben's kids or Vinay's kids.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not very good at making friends. I think I've had this problem my whole life. Even when I was in
Who's your closest friend in the comedy scene here?
I guess Harry,
Harry, but he's leaving.
Let's see. I don't know. I mean, like I know everyone here, but I don't really hang out with anyone.
You don't drink, do you?
No, not really.
I think maybe that's one.
Yeah. I mean, I do drink when I hang out with my other friends, but they all have kids too.
Okay.
So we might hang out like 4 times a year.
Okay.
And I mean, when we had the anniversary show, I was pretty drunk.
Yeah.
I was hungover for 3 days after
really?
that. Oh my god. That's why I don't drink. I mean, I want to drink, but I just get hungover.
Well, you have to go the other way then. You have to drink a little bit every day to build up the resistance.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I destroyed my liver, back in the day. And I don't know. I don't really like who I become when I get drunk either, I just become an idiot. So
my main issue with drinking is actually so last night I had 2 drinks. Actually, because my friend got a new job and he came, so I had a couple of drinks with him after the show. Then I had a 10 p.m. call and a midnight call with my job. So I meant to, in the end, going to bed at 1. I swear I've been up since 4 a.m. My baby. And if those 2 drinks, if you've got kids, I've got a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, and they're awake by 6 a.m. So if you're hungover, it's just hell, man. It's so
alcohol is poison.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. Bill Burr gave up drinking when he had children.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I could see why you do that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you need it because they take away every other hobby that you used to have.
Well,
you need something.
Weren't you just talking about how that's not a hobby either?
That's
doing drugs is not
and I run my own comedy club, do comedy 3 times a week.
A little bit of projection, I think, over there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really hang out. I don't know why. I'm a bit of a recluse, I'm a bit of an introvert.
You live far away as well.
Yeah, and that too. That's a problem too. Don't live central. And, I remember in high school, I invited a bunch of people to my birthday party and nobody showed up. And then I guess after that, I just stopped inviting people to do anything,
I saw you had like a picnic recently, a dog picnic.
Oh yeah, that was before the show here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone asked me if I was going.
Yeah, I just invited a bunch of people.
You didn't invite me.
Yeah, well, I figured you're busy.
I would have been busy. Yeah. But someone said, "Are you going?" I was like,
I just figured, I mean, even asking you to do this podcast, I was hesitant because I figured you say no. But
oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know. I just always, when I was younger, every time I asked a girl out, she said no, so I just stopped doing it. You know what I mean? So I just.
Me too. No,
I just don't like getting rejected. It hurts my feelings.
I do turn down most things though, actually.
Yeah.
But largely because I don't actually like appearing as myself.
Yeah. Well, I guess you only agreed to do this because you don't want to lose your strong middle act that you have at the.
Yeah, no, honestly, no, that's not the reason. I'm very grateful to support you show the club. I've also got a lot of respect. You've done 1,000 episodes of anything as a fellow podcaster. And you've been you've been a very, very steady supporter of what we've done here.
Well, for a long time. Yeah, I mean, if this is my only hobby, so I don't drink, so this is my only hobby, really.
You've got a dog.
Yeah, got the dog, but he just sleeps all day, But yeah, so you asked me earlier, like why I do it, and I guess I just wanted to, I think when someone asked me that before, and I said I wanted to be good at something.
Okay.
So I need something that I can, improve. That I enjoy.
Yeah.
You know?
And it made me think as well, because I think there's a split within certain people in the community. There's some people who, this sounds harsh, still believe they're going to be a famous comedian one day.
Yeah.
And then there's others, like myself, and I'll put all the founders in this, who are just doing it because we like doing it, and we want a venue. That's why we want the bar to succeed.
Yeah.
Because if we don't have the bar, it just wouldn't exist anymore. And it's funny actually see people who see perhaps like what they do here is just like almost like a transaction versus people who are like happy to invest their time. And like a JJ, for example, the amount of effort he puts into the club for like, okay, he gets money back from roast battle.
Well, he doesn't have a job, so
no. But if these characters didn't exist and like dedicate, or like a John Sabai who's like but I guess he does different reasons. He wants to like explore creativity through Dungeons and Dragons. But we're very lucky with that community, I would say.
Yeah.
And Harry's another example, like Harry running joke writing workshops, but it's just off his own back because he wants to teach joke writing. That's good. Yeah,
we got a good group of people over here, that just enjoy comedy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think I was talking to you before. Like, if I hadn't started here, I mean, everyone was very supportive. Like, if I had started in San Diego and that sort of scene where, as I said before, there's groups of people who don't really want to admit new members. I don't know if I would have continued, but everyone here, we're all very supportive of each other, just basically because, like, if we didn't support each other, there would be no show, and then none of us could do it. So we all kind of have to support each other just to be able to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
And that, I guess that environment kind of allowed me to grow and continue as a comedian. Even though I guess when I wasn't performing that much, back then, because the Good Heavens show, that was the main show.
And you boycotted it.
Yeah, and I boycotted that one, so I didn't perform that much, but.
Maybe that's why you don't feel like you're in the gang.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, maybe because that was a real formative part of the scene. Like we did that. Yeah. Actually, when I look back, I only did it for a year, and then I walked away.
Yeah. And then what's his face was doing it?
Alex,
yeah. But still, I think that core group.
Yeah.
They kind of became everyone had their their going away parties,
Yeah.
All the comedians would come there,
Yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah.
Happy days.
It's good times.
Yeah.
Now it's just work.
No, actually, now I think, I feel like we're on a different level. Just in the last couple of days, absolutely nothing to do with me, but I know of two comedians who've got fairly decent jobs off the back of comedy.
Oh, yeah?
Not like full-time jobs, but like a gig.
Yeah.
And like that's going to start springing up.
I guess, I mean, even the famous comedians in America, like a lot of them just do corporate gigs.
Yeah.
And I feel like for anybody in this scene here, I mean, I think that's the best we could hope for is to get booked at corporate gigs.
Actually, I had one tomorrow, but got cancelled.
In English or Japanese?
In English, and I have to be honest, I'm happy it was cancelled. I wasn't looking forward to it, but so hopefully that, one of the ideas behind doing the bar was, when you start doing some things, other stuff generates. It's like a kind of positive cycle. So I feel like maybe that's going to start happening more. Just getting like semi-regular requests for appearances or TV stuff. And Nai's done some good stuff recently. But I was in a big drama last year, and he's got a gig based off his Japanese clip. And I feel like, okay, once that starts feeding into itself, then there's more opportunities. Everyone's has been on TV because of this now,
Yeah, I feel like too. Like we should try to push more Japanese language too on the good comedians that perform here. Not a lot of them do it in Japanese either.
No, but that's a level thing though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fundamental. I speak for the purpose of the camera.
The microphone.
I speak good enough Japanese. I do it in Japanese.
Yeah, you speak pretty well. Yeah. I mean, you can do crowd work. Like, there's no way I could do crowd work in Japanese. It's just, I don't know. My language skills just suck.
Well, can I say something?
Yeah.
I actually had a Japanese lesson this morning.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What'd you learn?
Just basically, I want to work on my pronunciation.
Yeah. Yeah, the best. Okay, well, I'm a language expert.
Yeah.
You know, this is my field of expertise. So actually, you don't control your pronunciation. You don't you can volitionally control your voice.
Yeah.
Like I can speak with a British accent right now,
Yeah.
but this is not my natural voice. That's a shit accent, you know. So your natural voice is controlled by your brain, and it's just a function of listening.
Okay.
So if you want to improve your pronunciation, you just need to listen more.
Yeah, that's kind of what they said as well. Well, they use the word ishki, which is be aware when you speak, and the lady, a couple of I hope it moves on to more of a longer term relationship where regular lessons. But like there's certain patterns I'm lazy with.
Yeah.
And it's where I form my vowels. She says I form my vowels at the back of the throat, whereas in Japanese you have to form in the front. Therefore, a lot of my vowels sit in between two Japanese sounds. Like I didn't know this. There's lots of A sounds in English. Like we've got more than 5 vowels.
Yeah.
Because there's like gradations of what an A is.
Yeah.
In Japanese it's just 5.
Yeah. A, U, E, O.
Yeah. And I'm like just mixing them all up and it's not clear where they are.
Well, the A sound in Japanese is sometimes pronounced differently.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I mean they do A and sometimes like E. Yeah. Like the EI.
Okay,
you know, it's sort of depending on the word. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Just listen more and do karaoke.
Nah, never. Although listen more, I'm
telling you as a language expert, if you want to improve your pronunciation, this is the best way.
Okay, I've started listening to Japanese podcasts.
Yeah,
not just classic football interviews.
Yeah, but I mean, you can do drills, but. This is what a lot of students and also it's on like a bell curve.
Yeah.
Some people just have the natural ability. Like Vinay can do lots of voices and he can sing too, so he has the natural ability to control his voice. But I can't sing for shit. Can you sing?
No, terrible.
See, you're on the lower end.
Yeah.
So it's unlikely you will ever be able to have a good accent.
But do you know what? I don't need a good accent. I just need a better accent.
Yeah.
I need to be slightly because that you
can do.
Yeah.
That you can do.
And a lot of it is, I pronouncing katakana words. I pronounce them in English on stage. I'm literally just saying, Star Wars, me master.
Yeah.
Instead of Star Wars.
Yeah, I do that a lot with Jesus. In Japanese it's what? Ieus.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. What did Jesus say when they stabbed him with the nails? Yes. Is that a good joke? Should I tell that on the?
Maybe not.
Should I tell it? All right. Anything else you want to say to my mom before we finish up here?
Thank you very much for gifting us your son. He's been a pleasure to work with over the past 8 years.
All right.
I look forward to doing more comedy with you.
BJ is also good at lying. I don't know if you guys. That's what you have to be to be the owner of a comedy club. You have to be a compulsive liar. Well, anyway, BJ, thanks for all you do. Thanks for inspiring all of us in Tokyo to work hard. You're a source of inspiration for me to work harder, because I got that fat lazy fuck syndrome, So I don't know if you want to teach a class on that, like how to not be such a fat lazy piece of shit, but I think that would be a good. I might.
At least you own it. At least you're not one of these people who don't do anything and find other reasons why you're not achieving what you want to achieve.
Yeah. Well, I often wonder, if I'm living my best life, or what I could be, if I actually worked harder. So, because I've written 10 books, but I could have written 20 in the time that I've been here. So, video games are kind of fun, though, and like watching YouTube, it's great. Just sitting around doing nothing, watching YouTube. It's not fulfilling, but what's the other? It's a good waste of time. Anyway, thanks for being on my 1000th episode.
Congratulations on 1000 episodes.
Oh, thank you. Hopefully I'll do 1,000 more. Hopefully a Tokyo Comedy Bar will get bigger.
Yeah, hit me up for number 2000.
All right. Thanks for listening, man. We'll see you tomorrow.